New World Order, you underestimated the people. You took a gamble and you lost.
Okay, we don't like this. Okay, well then we're going to do this. And that is just how it's going to be.
Evidence brought to light that there is a corrupt officer, or that officer did shoot that kid on purpose.
I don't care how I look, I don't care how I sound, I don't care what the beat is. I just care the message gets across.
What's up, everyone? This is Tinman with the Resistance.
I'm Lucid.
And if you're watching this, you are the Resistance. And we are back with another weekly report. Gonna be kicking out more videos here soon. Just everything's still kind of clusterfucked on our end.
We're planning to move to Tennessee, so we're kind of scatterbrained on everything. We know that we're filming today on Monday, which is usually when the video goes up. But this weekend we kind of had a long weekend with birthday parties and situating this move and everything like that, getting all the finances worked out and how we're going to do that. So just bear with us. And once again, also I wanted to announce, we're going to go back to the traditional way of doing things. We're going to start dressing up for the weekly reports. We've been casual for a minute now, and we kind of want to be more business-like for you guys, so you guys can take us a little more seriously. Not that that will ever happen, but yeah.
Right.
Anyway,
let's go ahead and jump into it. What do we got here? The first story.
Okay, we got Michigan Senate passes bill outlawing oral and anal sex. Violators will face 15 years in prison.
Yeah, you're the one who initially found that one, so I have to let you have that one. That was just terrible.
Yeah, Lansing, Missouri, during their session last week, the Michigan Senate passed a bill that effectively bans all forms of sodomy, anal, oral, gay, and non-gay, making the acts punishable by up to 15 years in prison. Surprisingly, Michigan is not alone in this archaic and oppressive legislation. Michigan, along with Idaho, Utah, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana, all have laws on the books making consensual oral anal sex illegal between all individuals, not just gays and homosexuals and whatnot, but all individuals. Montana, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas have only outlawed these acts if those engaged in them are gay. Wow. So I could stick it in my wife's ass, but Joe Blow down the street who's gay can't stick it in his husband's ass. I mean, that's fucked up.
Well, here's the question for you. How the fuck are they gonna know?
If it's consensual, they shouldn't know, unless they have some sort of way to spy on us, which they've been doing for 50 plus years now.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no way to.
Since the CIA has been invented, which was what, like 60 some odd years ago.
Oh yeah, I mean, no argument there, but that's our online correspondence, and granted, they're able to spy and see into our homes on various aspects. That technology is somewhat limited, so if you were to make sure various appliances and whatnot are shut off, or you're doing these things where this technology is not accessible, how are they going to fucking prove shit?
They can't prove anything. I mean, I guess they could do a virginity test on your anus, but I mean, that's really subjective because people take bigger dumps than other people. So, I mean, some people's asses are going to be stretched out.
So what's the test? If it comes out, you're okay, but if it's you're going to prison?
No, I was thinking more along the lines, stick a pinky in there. If it goes up to the second knuckle, then you're. Well,
then they're guilty of sodomy as well.
Exactly. So we can get them arrested too. That was my point.
Yeah.
Anyway, it continues to say the passage of this bill, in spite of the U.S. Supreme Court's 2003 ruling in Lawrence versus Texas declaring sodomy bans unconstitutional. In an attempt to skirt the legal boundaries of the Scouts. I'm thinking of my daughter's Girl Scout cookie thing for some reason. That in an attempt to skirt the legal boundaries of the SCOTUS ruling, Michigan encompasses the so-called sex crimes into the legislation as on bestiality, as if the two are related in any way whatsoever.
Human on human, human on animal. I see a substantial difference here.
Right. But it continues on and says SB 219 is the section under the penal code in Minnesota that reads a person who commits the abominable and detestable crime against nature, either with mankind or any animal, is guilty of a felony.
And who says it is or is not a crime against nature?
Well, we can't speak to animals, so that right there rules out any kind of communication or feelings.
I'm talking about fucking oral and anal. Who classifies that as being in compliance with nature or in?
I don't know. Even in nature, there are animals who mate with the same sex. Bottlenose dolphins, for instance, and I think there was just a car accident outside. I don't know if you guys heard that. But
Mr. Giggles probably caused it.
A person who commits the abominable, detestable crime against nature, either mankind or with any animal, is guilty of a felony, reads SB 219. So, the fact that nature, in some instances, which I could actually bring this up as a argument in the conversation I'm having with that guy right now, about homosexuality and the Bible. We're having a big, long debate about that, about whether or not homosexuality is a sin or not,
or whether or not it's a choice or
a choice or a genetic thing or what have you. My argument is we all are who we are, and we can have thoughts, but as long as we don't act on those thoughts, it's okay.
Yeah,
it's not considered a sin. The act of sin is sinful, not the thoughts or urge.
The thought is only sinful if you continue to
dwell on it.
Mm-hmm. You know, like if you
glance
and
and
see a hot chick's ass
and be like, ooh, that's hot, and then go about your day, that's one thing. But if you glance and see the hot chick's ass and be like, damn, wish I could tap that. Fuck, did you see that hot chick's ass?
Yeah,
oh my god, dude, damn, dude. If you dwell on it, it's sinful.
That's when it becomes a problem.
But anyway.
So what do we got here? What's the next one?
Our next one is loading. It's not going to take much time, guys. Hold on one second. I should have been loading this while we were talking.
Shit happens. Smart folks are not that smart.
And some websites load up faster than others, and it's just
how much content's on it.
Yeah, whether there's a lot of pictures or videos or whatever on it. So anyway,
I got this one.
Yeah, I know you got this one. Just making sure it's loaded.
House Deans vow to implement first Sharia law.
Oh yeah, speaking of that.
Well, before I go into the story, why don't you go ahead and...
Speaking of Sharia law, I don't know if you guys have heard, but Target has implemented the fact that Muslim employees in their employ are allowed to refuse to ring up any kind of pork or bacon or any kind of thing, these things that are offensive to them. Well, I'll tell you what. Any employee that works for a company in the United States that accepts money that says, "In God We Trust" on it should be offensive to them to begin with. So why are they here? Why are they working in our stores? That's my question.
That's kind of a double standard.
Right. If they're willing to accept money from a company that they're earning money from to live the American dream and subscribe to the fact that they have to use currency that says, "In God We Trust," but they don't believe in the Christian God, but they are able to refuse service to, as cashiers, to ring up pork and these kinds of different things that they are offended by, then how does that work? Just double standard bullshit. I think it's just a way to, I think these people had an agenda all along and they got hired in multiple numbers at a particular organization, and now they're trying to deteriorate that organization from the inside. But that's just my personal opinion. Anyway, continue. Sharia law.
While the rest of the country was focusing on the holiday season in December of 2015, Democratic congressmen were quietly moving forward with House Resolution 569, In many circles, this move is being hailed for denouncing the rise of intimidation and violence against Muslims. Unfortunately, what's buried in the fine print of this bill could prove to be incredibly detrimental to the rights of men and women. One of the concerns with this bill is that it targets hate speech without clarifying what qualifies as such. Opponents point out that making hateful speech towards Muslims illegal is a direct violation of the First Amendment. Americans are concerned that anyone who speaks out against Muslims or the intolerant teachings of the faith are in any manner will face jail time under this resolution.
Well, take me to jail then, motherfucker.
Right.
I'm not going to give up my moral standards and my beliefs so that somebody else can feel fucking comfortable in a country that they fucking came to and stepped on my doorstep. Fuck you.
Yep. We live in America. If you want Sharia law and you want the
Go
parameters
back.
and ideologies of your culture, go back to where your culture is dominant. So, why should we have to change to accommodate you?
Well, I believe that everybody should have an opportunity to worship the God that they want to worship, and that they should be allowed to be offended and feel the way that they want to be offended and feel. But the thing about it is when it starts imposing on my constitutional rights as a natural-born citizen here of the United States, I'm not Indian or anything like that, so let's not even take it to that fucking level. But somebody who, by means of the Constitution, is a natural citizen here in the United States and has these rights of freedom and life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, it's infringing on my rights to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, because every time you turn around, you're offended by something that I fucking do, but I have to be okay with what you do, and then you're taking my rights away. I go in, I like pork. Who knows? I may want to buy it at fucking Target one day. I mean, I don't shop at Target for food, but I may want to go into Target and be like, oh, I'm just going to pick up some bacon while I'm here, so I got some BLTs, I got everything else, and I'm at Target. I don't want to make 2 stops. And if I go up to a cashier, I don't want them to refuse service to me because they don't want to ring up my fucking bacon. Fuck you.
Yeah, they ain't eating it, so what the hell do they care? They're not even handling the meat itself. They're handling the fucking packaging that it's in.
You know what? I'm offended. I'm fucking offended that you're fucking offended. You came here, you stupid monkey.
I've got nothing.
You can edit that.
I've got nothing.
I just had to express myself there.
It's just going to be one long bleep if I do. But, as we say in the Worldwide Resistance Network, as per Carter, we don't censor people.
And not just that either. This is one personal opinion. It doesn't reflect the opinions and views of TWWRN as a whole. This is my opinion, lucid. My opinion.
Well, I'm the one who called Obama a nigger on camera, so...
Yeah, but you went into the
dynamics
of the definition and being of, a nigger, and to be niggered, meaning ignorance, not necessarily as a racial slur. But the thing about it is that you come here wanting our freedoms and constitutional protections and rights, yet you want to change our freedoms and constitutional protections and rights to the culture that you're trying to fucking get away from.
Yeah.
Fuck you!
And basically what the rest of this story says is that it's a gateway to the implementation of Sharia law. Now, if you came to this country because you love this country and what it represents and whatnot, why are you getting pissed off because of what it represents? That makes no damn sense to me.
You want to be free and you want to be able to have people accept your rights, views, and opinions, then you have to respect other people's rights, views, and opinions, and stop fucking wearing tampons all fucking day. Shake the fucking dirt and grit out of your vagina. Get away from these no gun-free fucking zones and these fucking, cuss-free and abusive, language-free fucking zones on college campuses because somebody is offended by the way you dress or the way that you talk. Fuck that. This country was founded on freedom.
Yeah.
It is my right to think and say what I want to think and fucking say. And just because you are offended by it, a minority in my country, I should change my ways? Fuck you. If I went to your country, I'd have to learn your language, your culture. I would have to abide by your laws and your rules.
Yeah.
And you know what? If I tried to stand up and protest against that shit, I'd be fucking beheaded. You're lucky.
Yeah. Fucking practice your own shit in your own home.
Or do it out in the open. Who cares? Nobody fucking cares. Just stop.
Don't impose it on everybody else.
Yeah, just stop imposing your bullshit on everybody else.
Yeah.
I don't sit here and talk about my bullshit and how you should fucking act.
Well, like you were saying before, it comes down to the offensive thing. And like I said in my video to the nostalgia critic, if you're being suppressed, it's not because of, you know, these very laws protecting copyright or anything. It's more or less an issue that freedom of speech has taken a backseat to political correctness. And that's really what it comes down to. It's butthurt syndrome.
It really is.
Everybody's getting butthurt about something. Okay, and I understand getting upset about the wrongs in the world. Okay, I'm all for it. What do you think this shit was founded on in the first place?
Wrongs in the world.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, move to Switzerland. If you don't like it there, move back to your country. If you don't fucking like it there, find an island somewhere where there's no fucking jurisdiction and fucking pitch a tent, motherfucker, because you are coming in here and stepping on me.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of that shit, dude. That just pisses me off. I'm glad I was finally able to get that shit out, dude. I've been holding that in for a long time.
I know you have.
And I've been trying to be cool about it, but the more I fucking hear about this shit, man, it's like, why come here in the first place? If you don't fucking agree with what we are and what we are about, don't fucking come here. I don't want you here anyway. You're sucking off my government, taking away my benefits and my fucking jobs. Fuck you.
Yep. Go back to Iraq and Afghanistan and all these other countries.
Or Mexico, or fucking India, or Europe, wherever the fuck you're from. Go back there.
Well, you notice that
Canada, Canada included. If you guys don't fucking like it here, you don't have to come here. Nobody's forcing you to fucking be here. It's not just one type of people. It's not just about the Muslims, dude. It's about all these fucking, even some native fucking born Americans here. Even Indians. And I'm talking the tomahawk variety. Okay? Those motherfuckers too even have some offensive shit that goes on that they don't agree with, which is why they have their own fucking land. And they can do whatever the fuck they want there. Nobody bothers them, they don't bother us.
And they don't impose their fucking will or ideology on anybody else.
You know, if you don't like it here, go back to your respective fucking areas. Okay? Bottom line. Alright, moving on.
Happy birthday.
Beyonce honors Black Panther party during halftime show.
Yeah, I didn't even watch the game. Did you watch it?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Not this year. I watch it every year, dude, but I didn't watch it this year. I just wasn't hyped up. My team fell out of the fucking running early on, and it sucked. So
it's kind of the same thing with me. Plus, I don't like buying into distractions of the mainstream. I prefer to focus on what's really important and what's really going on. And frankly,
well, I mean, technically
no
speaking,
disrespect to the football fans out there, but it's just not that important to me. It's not on my list of priorities.
Well,
it's not world fucking changing.
Well, neither are birthdays. Birthdays aren't world changing either, but we celebrate life, and that in itself can be a distraction, just like it was for us this weekend. We didn't get our weekly report done because we were busy celebrating my daughter's birthday.
Yeah, we still get it done though.
Yeah, well, we're getting it in now. It's late, but we're getting it in. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, regardless, there's distraction everywhere. You're distracting me by smoking. I'm distracting you by smoking. We're distracting each other by, you being out here in the garage all the damn time, me being in the house, you're not hanging out with me. You know what I'm saying? Just little things like that. Those things are distracting too.
It could be a distraction.
Right.
Okay. So carry on.
Beyonce and her bouncing bandolier of bullets stirred up things during the Super Bowl halftime show, with 24 black beret and afro-topped backup dancers paying tribute to a different kind of Panther. The 34-year-old megastar's career was dressed in homage to the Black Panther Party, at one point joining her in giving millions of viewers a Black Panther salute as she belted out her new politically charged power anthem formation. Now, I read somewhere, I don't remember where, like yesterday or today or something like that, about her performance. I didn't watch it, and I'm not going to claim to know everything about it, but I heard that it has a lot to do with a kind of a shot on police officers, and police officers refuse to watch it. A lot of police officers turn their TVs down. Even the police officers that were there at the stadium turned their back on her when she was performing. It was kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But she quotes, "Okay, ladies, let's get in formation," she's saying, tweaking the 50th anniversary of the Super Bowl with a nod to the 50th anniversary of the 1966 founding of the Black Panther Party. One admirer, Twitter user Jazzfly, tweeted, "Beyonce, backed by 50 black women with afros dressed in Black Panthers, is telling the world that hashtag Black Lives Matter." Much of the halftime show was about love and togetherness, with Beyonce dancing side by side with Bruno Mars, and in a grand finale with Coldplay's Chris Martin, as the audience spelled out "Believe in Love" with rainbow-colored placards, if that's not symbolic. Still, the star herself seemed intent on bringing some amount of empowerment politics to her own performance. At one point, her dancers formed an X on the field in apparent reference to Malcolm X. In her black jacket with studs and gold accents, Beyonce also paid homage to the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Reaction online was mixed, strong, and immediate. Beyonce just had beautiful black women dressed as Black Panthers performing halftime at Super Bowl. "Y'all don't understand," tweeted Cosmopolitan, another Big Bay admirer. Day Ray McKesson, a prominent leader in the Black Lives Matter movement, also appreciated the political display. "Formation shouts out to Malcolm X and MJ. We're excellent," he tweeted. "We're excellent," he tweeted. Syndicate columnist Michelle Malkin, however, saw it differently, because nothing brings us all together better than angry Beyonce shaking her ass at shouting Negro repeatedly. Malkin tweeted along with a screen grab of the Panther dancers. Twitter user at YouWish1127 also saw racism in the performers' halftime antics. "Wow, NFL, how do you let Beyonce perform in what is known racist uniform Black Panthers? Hashtag awful, hashtag Super Bowl, hashtag she ruined the halftime show," he wrote. Twitter users churned out an average of 147,000 tweets per minute about Beyonce, according to social media monitoring firm Spreadfast.
Every year it's a controversy with these halftime shows, man. Every fucking year.
I haven't really found anything that's been kind of a controversy. I've been more or less impressed by the halftime shows as of late. The last few years have been excellent.
I don't know, man. You had that one with Madonna and the whole satanic thing.
I didn't see it like that, though. I saw it as an older lady getting down on stage, dude, as kind of a retro, bringing her voice back type of thing with, what's her fucking face?
Yeah, it was the show itself. It wasn't her songs. It wasn't the person. It was the show and the choreography.
Yeah, I get that.
And the symbolism. There was a lot of satanic symbolism.
There's satanic symbolism
But
and
that-
New World
that-
Order symbolism in every fucking song or music video nowadays anyway. So
yeah, well, they all
you can't
they're
get
all
away from
fucking
it.
globalists from anyway. So.
Yeah, well, you can't get away from it. So that aside, I mean, the performance itself was wonderful, dude. I mean, she got down, dude. She was doing flips on stage, all kinds of stuff, dude. And I got to give it up to her for that, dude. For her being an older woman, dude, and getting down like that, dude. That's
Ozzy sure as fuck couldn't do it.
right. And what? They're like the same age, aren't they? Ozzy's a little bit older, I think.
He's a little older, but all the same.
All right, this
What do you got?
this one's yours.
More rape shit. Pro rape blogger doxxed by Anonymous says he is scared for his safety. Cancels worldwide tribal meeting. And it goes on to say, Deirush Rush Valadia, the pro-rape blogger who organized meetups for his anti-woman group in 43 countries around the world, has canceled his events because of the threats. And now he has allegedly been doxxed by Anonymous or people associated with the activist group, revealing that the self-proclaimed king of masculinity lives at his mommy's basement. That's what it says. Protests against Valadia have taken place in several countries, and after multiple threats, including a female boxing group promised to show up for the tribal meeting, this tough guy canceled his worldwide event out of fear for the safety of himself and his oceanic buddies.
Where's this at?
Misogynistic.
Misogynistic buddies.
Misogynistic. That's not a word I'm familiar with.
Me neither. I have no idea what it means.
Valadia has advocated for rape to be made legal on private property, claiming it would decrease the prevalence of sexual assault and change the rape culture because women would be more careful and make better choices.
Here, it's misogynistic.
Misogynist.
Yeah, it's like male. You know what I mean? Male fucking abuse towards women. You know what I mean? It's like a forceful thing against them. So
Yeah.
it's almost like racial, but it's more gender based. You know what I mean?
Gender based.
Misogynistic. Yeah, it's misogynistic. I'm sorry, guys. I'm out of it today.
It's all good. Following the release of his personal information on social media, which, by the way, is a practice we do not support, and this is the website saying this, as placing any human being in danger is not okay, Valadia received death threats, prompting him to call the police for help. When the police arrived, Valadia answered the door of his mommy's house in a sweat-stained t-shirt and shorts, the epitome of manliness. Boy, they really just like trashing on this guy, don't
Yeah.
they? He told officers he had been receiving threatening messages through email and voicemail from people around the world, and now he was scared. Some of the messages said Valadia would be shot, stabbed, or have his home burned down. Another said, "We will kill you if you come to our city." The self-described pickup artist told officer that he had wanted to get attention from the disgusting rhetoric he spewed out of his blog, but he had never banked on the angry backlash it would cause, and now he is afraid. Okay, you deliberately created controversy and now are afraid of the reprisals? Come on, if you do or say something insanely stupid without thinking the fucking situation through, you're just a dumbass and deserve whatever you get. If you dump off a fucking high dive
And there's only a cup of water in the pool.
you're fucked, okay? You gotta think things through. You gotta think of the positive and negative and everything. You've gotta see these things through and see how far this can actually get you. Fucking dumb people, man. In an online statement, he apologized to all the sexist men who planned to attend the event, but said that he had no choice but to cancel because he could no longer guarantee the safety or privacy of the men who wanted to attend.
The end. Halftime.
And no, we will not have Beyonce. As always, we will have our good friend Mr. Giggles doing I don't know whatever he's gonna fucking do.
I haven't really even talked to him lately, have you?
He's been hiding in the rafters a lot lately.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, like literally, this guy texted me the other day while I'm at work. Goes, "There's something crawling around in the rafters." How wrong with this?
He goes, check it out. I'm like, hell no, I ain't checking it out. I don't know what the hell's up there. And if I get hurt, I'm the only one at home. You know, alone with 2 kids.
Well, we know the only person that's gonna get hurt from Mr. Giggles is Tom Bird. So.
Yeah, well, I didn't know it was Mr. Giggles. It could have been a big ass possum or a flock of fucking squirrels or what? A flock of squirrels. That sounds like a flock of seagulls. That's a new band name. Anyway, yeah, I don't got nothing to say on this really much. But yeah, if you're gonna say some shit, you better make sure the pool is full of water before you jump off that high dock and know you can swim.
Right. Well, We're going to go ahead and jump into our commercials and halftime segment. We'll be right back with our main debate.
Hello, YouTube Universe. This is good old MS Revan. Are you looking for daily, unbiased political videos? Come check out my channel at youtube.com/GrandmasterRevan, or you can find me in the featured activist section on the Worldwide Resistant Networks channel at youtube.com/Resistance2058. Remember, knowledge is free.
I want to talk a little bit about how America is becoming a modern-day Sodom and Gomorrah in some aspects. We are losing our morals and ethics in the United States. If you tune into the History Channel, they got Larry the Cable Guy telling penis and fart jokes to Cub Scouts. If you tune into Discovery Channel, they're teaching your children how we originated from aquatic mermaids. I didn't tune in to Fox News to hear about Kim Kardashian's ass cheek implants. There is a Beavis and Butthead mentality going about in this country, and it's contagious.
So, Mr. Giggles, what are you up to today?
What the fuck do you want?
Oh, we gotta do a Mr. Giggles segment, so what do you got?
Mr. Giggle segment? Why is that cat scratching your couch?
Fuck you, cat!
Does the couch have an itch?
It's an itchy pussy.
We'll scratch it. I'll get some yeast infection cream.
Wow. Okay, so what do you got?
What do you mean what I got?
Oh, what do you got for your segment?
Well, you guys were talking about how the world was flat? I'm gonna put that theory to the test.
Okay, what do you got?
Nope, the world is round.
How do you figure? What'd you look up? That's not the world. Those are boobs. Big ones.
Boobs are my world. And when they lay down on their backs, they got two North Poles.
That is awesome.
What? I think I need some alone time.
And we are back. Thank you, Mr. Giggles, for
That illuminating display.
Yes. That's all you can really say about it. But heading into our main debate, referencing what Mr. Giggles was talking about there, what he had mentioned, there's several videos circulating online. I've seen one of these videos as well.
I've only seen memes and stuff like that of it until today, which we saw a video,
Yeah.
a pretty lengthy video on the theory behind our main debate here, which we actually ended up watching a good majority of it.
Which is whether or not the world is flat now. I thought we covered this in 1492,
Right.
but apparently it's still a relevant issue for some people. It is being argued that the world is in fact not a sphere, but is actually flat and rounded like a plate.
Like this would be what the Earth looks like in comparison to their theories. This right here. That the top of our Earth is flat and completely circle. It's like the globe smashed, is basically what they're getting at.
And basically what they're insinuating is, could you hold that up still?
Yeah.
Basically what they are insinuating is that not only is the Earth flat, but to explain how we have the rising and setting of the sun goes around
the top portion of the Earth, whether it's inside of this dome of atmosphere or whether it's outside of the dome. Now, at first he explained it that the sun was going around the thing like this and not like this. So, if you think about it, everything would have to reside on the top. Okay.
Yeah.
And if not, then there would be stuff on the bottom. So that would explain day and night. But because the sun is rotating this way, they explain day and night by way of vision. Light doesn't travel forever, and neither does your vision, which I can agree with to a certain extent. But there's ways that we could disprove this theory. Now go ahead and continue on with the story, and we'll get to the evidence of disproving this.
Basically, that's it, and they try to explain that there is no gravity, considering that the Earth is flat. They theorize that there is, in fact, no gravity, but that it's a magnetic force.
An electromagnetic force, that we are magnetically clinging to the Earth.
Yeah. And there's just so many holes in this idea. In fact, we'll just link the video to you, because to cover every single detail of this hour-long video would take forever.
Yeah.
So
anyway, here's
gonna
part.
get into some dynamics.
Okay,
here.
so here's part of the theory here. Okay, pretend this is the Earth. Okay, and on this side we have like Japan over here, and then on this side we have California. Okay, or actually it would be more like Alaska up here in the top left corner, which would be like the furthest, most westernest part of the continents, as theorized in this type of display. Okay, now they claim that the sun revolves around this circular. I know this is rectangular, guys, but just bear with me. It revolves around this circular flat globe like a dinner plate, like this. Okay, now they say that the way that they constitute day and night is that the sun just gets so far away you can't see it anymore. Okay, well, they speculate that the sun is 36,000 miles away and it's like 8 miles wide, or in diameter. So the sun
on those lines, I'm not sure if that's exact.
Yeah, or something like
that.
Yeah, the exact numbers. You could check it on the video when we link it in the description. But here's the thing that they say. Okay, we know that our eyes can see as far as the horizon is, but our vision doesn't stop where the horizon dips down, as according to the Coriolis effect of the Earth and our vision. Our vision can see past the horizon, okay, which is why we're able to see the stars and the clouds and the sun and the moon, okay, from where we're at. Okay, our vision doesn't stop at the horizon. In fact, I have some evidence here from a science standpoint here. Let me bring it up to my pictures. I had to take a screenshot of it because we were doing some quick research before this, and didn't have time to write it all down. But that the human eye can see 2.6 million light years away. Okay, now Earth's surface curves out of sight at a distance of 3.1 miles or 5 kilometers, but our visual acuity extends beyond the horizon, which is why we could see out past our atmosphere. Okay, we could see stars, we could see the moon, we could see the sun, but I guess according to this guy, all that stuff is inside the. So what are the little things that glow in the sky? They're not suns, they're stars, which constitute as what? They're not actually galaxies or planets or suns.
They're fireflies!
Yeah, they would have to be fireflies, right? Or something to that effect. Light bulbs up there somehow. So here's the deal: 36,000 miles would be the sun's distance from the top of this dinner plate section of Earth. Now, if he's saying that we can only see so far, it would have to extend past 36,000 miles, because there's a correlation between when the sun goes down and when it comes up. We can see it thick beyond the horizon.
Yeah.
And he constitutes all this stuff by curved lenses and telescopes and curved lenses or curved windows and fuselages and stuff like that.
You can see this shit with the naked eye.
Yeah, and here's the thing. The diameter of the Earth is 7,917.5 miles, okay, in diameter. Now, taking that into consideration, the diameter of this dinner plate would have to be similar to that. So from point A to point B on either side of the edge of the Earth would be 7,917.5 miles long, okay? Now, considering I just told you about the distance of that, which is not even a light year, by the way, we can see 2.6 million light years away. How does that work out with our vision seeing 7,917.5
You'd literally be able to see the South Pole.
You would be able to. You'd be able to see. Well,
I'd be able to look
he
and see
speculates there is
Congo.
no South Pole. He speculates that the entire outside portion of the Earth is wrapped in.
A dome.
No, is wrapped in. What's the bottom? What's wrapped around the South Pole? What's the continent? Is Antarctica? It is, right? Is Antarctica on the South Pole, nigga?
No.
That's what I'm asking.
No.
No? Okay. Well, what is it then?
The name eludes me. Look it up.
I am gonna look it up because I think it's Antarctica. I'm sorry, dude. I like I said, I'm out of it today. I believe it's Antarctica.
It's too fucking hot out here, to be honest with you.
Anyway, I'm not going to look it up. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's the southernmost continent on the Earth that surrounds where the South Pole is at. Okay?
Yeah.
They subscribe to the fact that there is no South Pole and that the southernmost continent actually just kind of wraps around the entire diameter of the Earth and that there is only a North Pole. That, according to North, South, East, and West and South are only determined because compasses only point magnetic north. But you could travel all the way to the North Pole and start heading south. But what they're trying to say is that you can't head to the South Pole and start traveling north because the Earth is
Here's a
flat,
concept
and you would
for you.
fall off the side.
Fucking do it. Fucking start fucking walking, hop in a plane, hop in a fucking boat, just fly from one end to the other.
Now, technically speaking, the information I've given you guys about the diameter of the Earth, okay, being 7,917.5 miles in diameter means from point A to point B, that's how long of a distance you would be able to see from. Okay? Now, you would be able to see, if there was no obstructions, you would be able to see from here to the other side of the Earth.
Yep.
According to the way that our eyes see, according to science.
Yeah, and the biggest problem with that is they say that when the sun's on the other side of the Earth, we can't see it because it's too far away, yet we can see the stars, which are substantially further away from the sun.
Right.
How the fuck does that work?
It doesn't.
And he doesn't argue that there are other solar systems and galaxies out there. So
they would have to believe that the stars are other suns.
yeah.
Okay. So
And if we could see them, we would most certainly be able to see
a sun that's only 36,000. But it would actually be 41,917.5
Well, it
miles
wouldn't
away.
even matter the distance. Even so, it's substantially closer
Oh yeah.
to the Earth than these other stars are.
Right.
At which point, if we could see them, then by proxy, and even a fucking 2-year-old can figure this out, you'd be able to see the fucking sun.
If your calculations are correct. Now, he was talking about how we are all stuck. We're moving on to the next subject because there's just nothing else we can say to debunk that. I mean, that just debunks itself. Now, he's saying by the next standard of their belief is that we are not stuck to the Earth by centrifugal force or what we call gravity, which we call the center of gravity. The center of the Earth is keeping us attached to the Earth from gravity. He's calling it electromagnetism or something to that effect. Now,
Yeah, that was it.
if we were magnetic, okay, in any sense of the word, metal would stick to the ground, okay?
Yeah.
Nothing else would. Nothing else would stick to the ground. Now, if you're talking on terms of protons, neutrons, electrons, and being positively and negatively charged, and you know how magnets work. We learned about that in fucking what, 6th grade.
Yeah.
You know, by taking a piece of metal and rubbing it on a magnet in one way, it magnetizes it, it positively charges it enough to where it becomes magnetized. Well, if you're talking about that, then how come, let's see here, just close your eyes. This is a bit from my drill, okay? This is a magnetic bit from my drill. How come this does not stick to my finger? Now, if you're talking about two different types of magneticisms, I can see that maybe being the case in your argument.
Right.
But still, in some way, shape, or form, you would have to explain why, even if you said there's an organic magnetism, or organic electromagnetism, and then there's metallic magnetism, then how do you explain, like, paper and plastic being stuck to the earth? This shit should just be flying away. Floating away, not sticking, not falling down to the ground. It should just stay where it's at or fly away.
And furthermore, going back to the sun, you know, with magnetism, you have to have a positive and a negative. And regardless of whichever is positive or negative,
the bigger one,
the bigger mass would inherently pull
the smaller
mass to it.
Yeah, and so it makes no sense.
Regardless.
36,000 miles, that's like too close to the sun. We would all be burnt alive.
Yeah.
First and foremost. I mean, we
would have been incinerated.
We would fucking be like matches. We would have been fucking lit up like a match.
And they're trying to insinuate that the sun revolves around the earth and not the envelope. But if that were the case, and the sun is substantially bigger, which is only obvious.
Right.
It would actually be the Earth revolving around the sun, because the sun would have the dominant magnetic control.
Now, if you're talking, well, see, the thing about it is, too, it's not just mass, it's density when it comes to gravity and centrifugal force. It's about density as well. Now, if you're saying that the Earth is more dense than the sun, I could see that even being a possibility, too. But at which point, the Earth would have to be so dense that we would all be smashed like pancakes.
Exactly.
It makes no sense. Okay? Also, one of their main things about how come they don't believe in the world being round is because they can't physically see it. If they can't physically see it for themselves or physically touch it for themselves, they don't believe it. Okay? Now, during the video, you will hear him say that. Okay? And then later on in the video, you will hear him say that he has never seen the edge of the earth. He has never seen it, which debunks his theory and his entire belief. It blows that out of the water completely.
It's a double standard.
Because they don't believe in anything they can't confirm with their own eyes or research, yet they can't confirm the edge of the flat earth. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean,
None.
At least, they don't accept anything that NASA or satellite imagery or anybody else brings to the table because they can't see it for themselves. Well, that's all you really got to base it on, is the science that is available. Right now,
and if you want to see it for yourself, go see it for yourself and prove us wrong.
Yeah,
at which point we'd have to fucking be like, oh yeah, well he's right. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
you gotta if you're gonna be a part of the scientific community and
you have to take
contemplate
part
theories,
in research.
you have to do the research. And there is, as was pointed out in this video, there is no science to back up this magnetism theory. There is no science available to even entertain this notion. There are no findings. And everything that's been pointed out points to the direction that the Earth is in fact round. Now, they want to argue that the only reason Columbus was able to make it from the European continent to the American continent is because
he traveled the circumference of the flat Earth.
Yeah, as per the circle. Say this part here is the North Pole. Columbus traveled from one end to the other.
And then they started talking... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Which, if the world were flat, that could inherently be possible. But what if he was sailing straight south and then traveled? What would happen?
He did travel south. He went, or no, he traveled from west to east. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking he traveled south, but that's where he used to travel, was south around the Cape of Good Hope and up into the Gulf of Mexico, or not the Gulf of Mexico, up into the Atlantic Ocean to the other side of India to trade. And he thought it would be a shorter route to go around to
he
the
thought
other
it
side
would
of
just
the
be
a straight shot.
Just do a straight shot.
Now here's the theory on what you were saying. Now, if he was traveling east to west, which means they were traveling in a circumference area, okay, which means that's the east to west thing. It just makes a complete circle. Now, based on that theory, if that's the case, when you shine a laser from east to west or west to east, the laser wouldn't just come straight at you. It actually would curve around the pole in that theory. Okay? So, because that doesn't happen, you would have to take into effect the Coriolis effect. And they have actually proven this by doing a similar thing where they took a rod and a rope and they strung it across, a span of so many miles, like 2,000 miles, and that the rope was significantly closer to the ground on one side and significantly higher on the other side, and they kept it level by using levels the entire time. So, or not by using levels, but by using a transit or something to that effect, where everything is just a straight shot. I don't know exactly the methods they used, but it wasn't the string following the curvature of the Earth. It was just a straight shot, which eventually would lead you off into space at, a great distance, down the line.
Yeah, regardless of whether the Earth was flat or whether you just shot in a straight fucking line. Let's say you started here, it started going this way. Where's it going to go? It's eventually going to keep going out and out and out.
And his theory was based on the fact that they shot a laser beam across
6 miles.
6 miles of ocean, and the laser beam was the same height on one side as it was the other, which would not be true, by the way. But because it's a straight shot, it would be significantly higher on the opposite end from where you were shining it from.
Well, you don't even need to go to the ocean. Just go down the fucking road here. That goes several miles. There's plenty of straightaway there. You can get.
But it's not perfectly flat. And see, that's...
Okay, go to Hebbet and fucking videotape down Stetson. That's a flat surface.
Yeah, that's pretty flat.
And that spans about 7-8 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can do that easy as fucking pie and see what you get.
But my thing is that people actually believe this shit. And they can't prove what they believe in.
Yeah.
Okay, this is even worse than religion. Because at least there's historical record of religious things that have happened over the course of time, and things have actually been proven. There's actually a spot where you could go to the Red Sea, and when you step up to it, the sea starts to kind of part its waves. Like, it starts to part. Like, not much, but it does
like
start
a residual after effect.
Yeah, like God's power is still on Earth. That is actually a proven fact. There's a place on Earth where you could go and see that happen. Yeah. There's many places and things like that. They've speculated that they found Noah's Ark in a mountain area somewhere after the Great Flood, where it docked and where they disembarked from that whole thing. But but they found the shawl of Jesus and where he wiped his face. They have actually DNA evidence of the fact that he was Jesus Christ and he did exist as a person.
Yeah.
They have historical evidence of these things. Okay, now whether you believe he's the Son of God or not is completely different. These people don't have any facts to prove that the Earth is a flat mass.
It's theory.
It's all theory.
And it's a decent theory.
It's not even a decent theory, dude.
It is a decent theory
stupidity.
where you're presenting decent ideas, like the notion that we traveled, where you're traveling like this, that's how Columbus got to the Americas, That could easily be...
With our traveling to outer space, okay, we can see that the Earth
like
is
you said,
turning.
They don't accept any of that
Okay, but see, look at it. We've traveled to outer space, okay? And from pictures of outer space, even satellites, even us not traveling to outer space, satellite imagery from the 1950s shows the Earth rotating on an axis. Okay? It shows it rotating. It shows that it is a globe and that the landmass is moving in a circular motion.
We didn't have satellite imagery in the 50s.
No, but those were pictures. But that was pictures taken from Apollo 13.
Yeah, that was in the 70s.
The race to the moon. Yeah, 70s. Sorry.
Yeah, because we didn't even.
I meant 70s. I said 50s. My bad.
Yeah, we didn't even get into space until 1969.
Right. So, anyway, the images from that first trip, of course they're going to take pictures. Okay, of course they're going to take video footage. It shows the Earth spinning on an axis. Okay, it shows the land masses moving. It shows the clouds moving around the Earth. It shows that the Earth has what we consider to call an atmosphere and, inner layer, outer layer, center layer of an atmosphere.
Yeah, and at which point, if the Earth was flat and it's getting the same amount of sunlight, one region is getting the same amount of sunlight as another region, you would have to assume
that it would be day and night everywhere at the same time.
Not just that, but also you wouldn't have these geographical changes. You got some areas that are desert and desolate, other areas that are just completely green and lush and beautiful.
Right.
And you also have other areas
like the equator and
like the Arctic. Like the Arctic, that's frozen fucking solid, and then the equator, which is mostly tropical.
And what about in Alaska, where they have 30 days and 30 nights of darkness and sunlight at any given time? I mean, there's a point in time where the sunlight shines on, or not Antarctica, but Alaska, or not Alaska. Is it Alaska?
It is.
Is it Alaska I'm talking about? Yeah, I think it's Alaska. I'm sorry, guys. I don't remember the fucking continents right now. But anyway, there's a place where you could go, and I think it's Alaska, where they have 30 days and 30 nights of sunlight and darkness, and you can actually witness this. Now, if the Earth was flat and the sun was traveling in a circular motion like this, there would be day and night at the same time every day.
Yeah.
If those theories were proven to be true, which that can't be the case. Our world would have to be round because of that theory.
Now, because the sun's on one side and we are on the other. I mean, that's the only explanation. Otherwise, as per the stars, you'd be able to see the sun.
Now,
even if you're over here on the far end, you'd still be able to see the sun when it's on this end. I mean, that's just no ifs or buts. You would, if the sun's over here, you would definitely see it here.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hold this, please. Say this is the fucking sun here. Okay? Say we're on this side of the fucking Earth. You would still see the sun just as you could see the stars that are significantly further than the sun.
Now, that you've disproved that and you said that the theory of this whole thing is a good theory, I can disprove the fact that it's magneticism in a hole right now. In fact, I have a little science experiment that we did in like 3rd and 4th grade that can disprove that right now.
Let's do it.
First, I want to reference this one last time. This is a magnetic bit for my drill. It does not magnetize to my finger. It drops, okay? So we know that we are not magnetic in any way, shape, or form. Okay? Now, while Tinman gets the camera ready, I have here, as you can see, a dirty bucket of water. Don't judge me, I haven't cleaned my car in a long time. Now, if I were to spin this above my head, the water theoretically would just dump out of the bucket if gravity did not exist. Okay, it's what we call centrifugal force. Okay, now I'm not a science whiz, but I remember this from fucking grade school. Okay, this is not
even with magnetic theory, when the bucket's upside down, it would still dump out.
It would still dump out because everything is being pulled to the earth, right?
Yeah.
There would be no such thing as gravity. It's all magnetic, right? So.
Yeah, and this is operating under the notion.
If this is magnetic and it's being pulled to the earth because of magnetism, then this water should fall out of the bucket when I flip it over my head, okay? So we see this, and none of the water spills out, okay? I can flip it both ways, okay, like this, all day long. I can spin it like this. None of the water comes out, okay? That is because of a thing called centrifugal force, okay? What our principle of gravity is based on here on Earth. Centrifugal force is what is keeping us attached to the Earth.
Exactly.
Point in case right there.
Yeah, so the notion that the Earth is flat and that the sun and the stars and planets rotate around around the Earth is completely and utterly debunked. It just does not. The math does not work.
It doesn't. 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 6, guys. Well, maybe in Common Core.
Yeah, I mean,
and that's just a little joke because we've had a lot of those debates lately too on Facebook. People that don't even know how to do simple math lately. It's kind of funny. You get 5 plus 5 times 5 plus 5, and you get people coming up with answers of 100. Or even in some cases, you get people doing 5 plus 5 is 10 times 5 is 50. You get 55 as an answer. That's not the case. 5 plus 5 times 5 plus 5 actually ends up being 35. So, that being the case, and math being proven right there, you know that 1 plus 1 equals 2 here with centrifugal force. You got to assume that the Earth has centrifugal force in it, and that's what's keeping us grounded to the Earth. Yeah. If we didn't have centrifugal force, even if things were magnetized, if we jumped off the Earth at a high enough elevation, we would just float into outer space. It would be like the moon. You jump too high, you're gone. Because the moon doesn't have as heavy a gravity as Earth. So, guys, I mean, I don't even know what to say.
My question is, what does it really fucking matter? I think this whole notion and this whole debate of whether or not the Earth is flat in the center of the fucking universe is, as this guy put it, if we accept the idea that the Earth is round and revolves around the sun, we are not the center of the universe and therefore not as important. You're basing the value of human life and the value of the individual on dynamics of how the universe works rather than looking at what you have to offer the world around you.
Right.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, regardless of whether the sun is spinning around the Earth or vice versa, in the grand scheme of things, you are just a tiny microscopic speck
in the whole scheme of things.
In this whole universe.
Now, I think what the case is, Chris, and here's the thing. I think that people are looking for something to grasp onto so they don't have to believe in religion, they don't have to believe in people or politics, stuff like that.
Well, as was pointed out in this video that we watched, the guy taking part in the debate who seemed kind of like on the fence. He didn't seem like he was really debating anything, just more or less kind of getting insight into what they think and believe. He pointed out...
He started debating at the end, but anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, he pointed out, and this guy agreed, that for the world to be flat and the center of the universe implies that there would have to be a god or a higher power of some sort.
But here's
things together.
But here's what I was getting
at.
This
guy agreed.
But here's what I was getting at, guys, is that we believe that if we changed our presidential candidate so extremely by the color of his skin that things would be different. Okay, and look what happened. Things are different, but we fucking hate it. Okay?
Yeah.
Now,
we're from bad to worse.
Now, people believe that if we put a minority in office, that the minority that's in office would be for the minority here in the United States, which is the case, but we didn't. Not we, because I didn't vote for the guy. In fact, I didn't vote for anybody those two elections because I didn't want any part of that crap. You can't blame me for anything that happened over the last 8 years. So, that's all on you motherfuckers who voted.
It's like we didn't have any good options.
Right. So, if you're basing your thing on something like that, which is probably what this guy did, I bet you that guy voted for Obama. Not that, his ideology on politics are wrong or right, but the fact that people wanted change so bad that they were willing to believe in something that just was not true. They base their opinion on what things should look like instead of what things are.
Yeah.
And, you know, I could see the concept of the Earth being flat and why people would, you know, maybe think that, but there's too much evidence pointing to the contrary. Now, it's also the case with, like I said, the whole, you know, wanting change and believing in something so they don't have to believe in what everybody else believes in. They want to be different. So these people made up a theory based on the Earth being flat so they can grasp onto something.
To have something to back it up, not theory.
Right.
Supported by theory. You have
supported by no facts.
You have to have some sort of facts. Now, if the world is in fact flat, go straight out and see where it gets you.
Right.
Go to head towards the South fucking Pole and see where it gets you. Do you get around the South Pole? If you do a straight shot south, cut straight through the South Pole onto the other side. I'm not saying go south and then take a fucking detour. I'm saying go south
and continue going south.
You will either get to an end or you will come out the other side
and start going north. Which, that has been proven, by the way. There's been several flights that have circumnavigated the globe in airplanes. So, that also has been debunked. There's been
this guy argues that you can't get through the South Pole. Never really answered as to why you can't. I mean, the guy that was, you got the fucking,
the guy that was doing the interview speculated robot penguins that you couldn't get through.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to do this, I mean, who's gonna fucking stop you? You got enough supporters who subscribe to this ideology. Fucking put it to the test.
Right. Donate a few bucks here and there until one person who represents the theological aspects of your society and put it to the test.
Yeah.
Get some facts behind your theory.
Get the funding and
put it to the test.
Put it to the fucking test. You know, get all the gear you need. Boats, planes, whatever. And
automobiles.
And all this shit you'll need. And put it to the fucking test. I mean, you don't have a biased person going with you.
I have another thing that could
confirm or deny the findings.
I have another theory about people who don't believe in the Coriolis effect and that the Earth is round. How do you explain that a bullet from a sniper rifle that's made with a high-power scope from over a mile away travels, while it's at maximum speed, travels at the same curvature of the Earth? It's because of gravity. It's called the Coriolis effect, dude. When you make a shot from that far of a distance, you have to take into consideration the curvature of the Earth. Okay, I was in the military. I heard all about the Coriolis effect, how that shit works. Okay? It's just plain and simple fucking science, guys. You know, you don't have to believe in God to believe that the Earth is round. I'm not saying that. And you don't have to believe in God to believe that the Earth is flat. But we do have scientific evidence to point out what is fact and what is not fact. I just debunked this dude's whole theory in a matter of 35 minutes and half the time we were talking.
Yeah.
I actually debunked this theory in less than 2 minutes over there doing that science experiment. Sorry, guy, but
and
it is what it is.
He tries to argue that if the world were round, there'd be a burning point. Is it a burning point what he described it as?
No, he described it as a hot spot.
That
if the Earth was round, there'd be a hot spot. Well, there is a hot spot. It's called the equator, jackass.
Yeah, it's constantly
hotter. It's warmer there than at the North Pole or South Pole.
Yeah,
as you go higher or lower,
incinerate is because of our atmosphere.
Right.
Okay, it acts as a shield. Okay, so we're not getting burnt up by solar radiation.
And he went on to speculate that the Earth is flat, but we've seen through telescopes that Venus and Mars are round because what we see through the telescope, it being a concave lens, the lens is round, so we actually see through a round thing. Well, then the guy that was doing the interview speculated, well, then how come the moon is round to the naked eye? And the guy really didn't have an answer. I mean, he didn't have an answer to a lot of these things, and he went on other tangents.
Wait, I got it. This is his answer. This is the Earth, this is the Moon.
Right? Flat and flat.
Yeah.
That's basically what he's saying.
At which point, if all things in the universe are constant, wouldn't it be...
Right. And if that's the case too, and that we have evidence that all celestial bodies are circular in shape, and that's because of centrifugal force of gravity. Okay, we've already proven that centrifugal force exists by that experiment. Okay, which means gravity does exist.
And he tries to argue that, you know, through telescopes and shit like that, that the lenses are curved, so the planets and whatnot look curved.
But that still doesn't debunk the horizon.
If you sit there and watch a planet as you will see it rotating.
Right.
Okay, there are significant differences on the surface of individual planets.
Right.
You know, if you sit there and watch Mars, you're going to see it
spinning. Exactly. And not just that, mean, how do you explain...
That's not a trickery of curved lenses right there. I mean,
you can see it with the naked eye.
Curved.
Right.
But
when it's spinning, you could see that it's a spherical shape.
Yeah, and on the whole notion of curvature and lenses and shit like that, where do you think your fucking eyes are? They're not flat. So that notion's debunked as well, because if, theoretically, if you really think about it, somebody's phone's going off.
Excuse me.
If the planets were flat, looking at these planets, we'd be able to tell that they were flat. I can tell that this piece of paper is flat just by looking at it.
And it doesn't matter how far. It doesn't matter how far away you look at it. You can look at it from here. You can see that it's flat. When you look at it from here, you can see that it's flat. It doesn't matter how far away something is. It doesn't appear to be any flatter or more round the closer it gets.
Yeah, and I got glasses. They have curvature lenses on them.
That still looks flat.
Still looks flat. There's no curvature. Okay. So again, notions debunked.
And not just that.
You're looking at us on your computer screen. Your screen is probably flat, but the lens on the camera is curved.
Do I look curved to you? Do I look like I'm doing this? No.
Yeah. The eye inside, it's got a flat screen on it to protect the lens, but the lens itself is in fact curved.
And not just that.
But
what I've been
trying to hear to you?
Three-dimensional, actual being.
You can tell flat from flat, round from round.
Right. And here's another thing that kind of debunks the whole curvature of the Earth too, is that I showed you the scientific evidence that I had that based our eyesight on 2.5 billion light years that we could see, or 2.8 billion light years, whatever the numbers were exactly, that you could see these celestial bodies out in space. Okay. That's what the naked eye can see. Okay, you can't see detail that far away, but you can definitely see light from these other stars or suns of these individual galaxies that are out there. Now, when you look on the horizon of, a curvature of this Earth, and you see the horizon, that only goes out about 3.1 or 3.4 miles or something like that, as according to that same website. Yeah. So, how do you explain the fact that you can't see past the horizon? It's because it dips down.
Stars from several billion light years away.
Right.
Or planets that are substantially farther away than the 6 miles you're looking out over the shore.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. If it were a flat surface, you'd be able to go to San Diego and see Hawaii.
Right.
No ifs, ands, or buts.
Right.
If your notion was correct.
Right. You would be able to see past the horizon of the ocean and see these islands that are scattered all about. And you wouldn't be able to see them in great detail probably, but you would be able to see them from where you stand. Yeah. If there was nothing blocking my way right here in California, in Hesperia, California, where I live, I would be able to walk out my door, look in a straight line, and see Australia from where I'm standing.
Yeah.
Makes no sense, guys.
I mean, and a lot of people watching this who do support these theories, they're gonna fucking hate this shit. We're gonna get a lot of dislikes for this.
I'm sorry, dude, but anybody who subscribes to TWWRN has half a brain and knows that this is all true. Yeah. Anybody who subscribes to that bullshit probably lives in their fucking mommy's basement. Sorry.
Well, you can't denounce common fact.
Right.
Sir. You can't deny common sense. I mean, if you really want to put this theory to the test, like I said, get the funding together, have all your supporters donate to this cause to get all the supplies and everything you'll need for this trip, and head to the South Pole. See if it ends, or if you come out the other side onto the European continents.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just the only true way to fucking prove this notion. Or fund your own space program, fire up a fucking rocket, go to space, take some fucking pictures on your cell phone, and bring them back.
No, because the cell phone has a curved lens too. So that wouldn't work. Now, if you don't believe that a curved lens gives you the proper photograph, well, then how come it reflects a natural state of being and what the picture actually shows with the naked eye? Like if I took a picture of Chris here, you would look the same on my phone as you look to my naked eye at this distance. It would be the same thing. Now, because the curvature of the camera on the iPhone or this camera or a telescope or what have you is curved, that's just so that you could see further, better high definition picture, what have you.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with what you actually see, physically see in real life. It doesn't have any
that's how
bearing.
glasses work.
Right. It has curved portions of the glass so that it focuses your eyes to see better.
Yeah.
That's exactly how glasses work. It's how a magnifying glass works. That's how camera lenses work, just in basic. I mean...
Yeah, because that's how the human eye sees.
Right.
They base all this technology off of this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? They don't base it off of anything else. I mean, come the fuck on.
What they do is they take what's in the human body and they soup it up, is what they do. So they take basic formation of our eye and then soup it up, put it in some kind of technology that gives us a higher definition. You can see further away. More concaved lenses or more circular lenses allow you to magnify certain parts and see certain things that you wouldn't be able to see with the naked eye, which is, fun. We can't see everything with the naked eye, and I will admit that. Our vision doesn't go on forever.
Yeah.
Okay, it does not, and I will agree with that notion of his theory. But it goes a lot further than what you're saying, bro.
Yeah. I mean, you're speculating, basing a theory on more theory. Okay? You have to have facts to back it up. And you have to, in science, you have to first present the theory, do tests, and prove whether or not it holds up. Okay? At which point it goes from theory to scientific law. That's how science works.
Right.
That is the basic 3 steps of science right there.
Find a problem,
Theory,
theorize, and solve the problem.
yeah.
Get scientific evidence to back up
Theorize, test, prove, or disprove.
Right.
Yeah. Or theorize, test, conclusion.
Right. That's putting it in simple terms, but yeah, it's
I
that
mean,
principle, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you really get into the dynamics of it, there's a lot of steps to follow, but those are the 3 basic steps. Or 4 basic steps. Problem, theory, test, and conclusion.
Right. Solution.
And I don't see that. I see theory on top of theory on top of theory.
With no factual evidence.
Which is fine. But at some point, you've got to back it up with some sort of facts. Otherwise, how can anybody really take it seriously? And like I said, in the grand scheme of things, where does it fucking matter? What does it matter if the Earth is flat or just one big ball floating in space, okay? Whether the Earth is flat and the center of the universe is irrelevant. What is relevant is who you are and what you contribute to this world, okay? And you can sit there and speculate about this and that all you want, okay? But unless it's going to go somewhere, it's just going to stay speculation. You're not really contributing anything. I think there are more important things to focus on than this trivial bullshit. I mean, we've got problems here on Earth that we need to fix. We need to stop focusing on all this other bullshit.
And you can nitpick at us for actually covering this story. if you would like to. But that's not why we covered the story. We covered the story to come to this point. It wasn't to prove or disprove something, which is pretty much not worth our time, because we know whether or not the Earth is round or not. We have scientific evidence to prove it, and we can bring evidence all day. But it's
you may not accept what's
to make this point right here.
Yeah, you can accept or reject what NASA brings to the table, or what this person or organization brings to the table, or doesn't. But they got evidence at least to back it up. Okay? You could say the Earth is flat, we're in some kind of a dome thing like the Truman Show or whatever. At which point, how do you have satellites in outer space that beam down your fucking TV?
Yeah, there's no centrifugal force, which means there's no way that we could orbit.
Yeah.
There's no way satellites can orbit the gravitational pull, because there's no gravity.
Yeah, and at which point, if the Earth was flat, you do have these satellites in space beaming your TV to you. At the very least, out of all the things this technology can do, how the fuck do you explain the issue with line of sight? If the Earth was flat, you just had satellites floating around in space,
on the top,
signals down from whichever direction. You know,
there wouldn't be any problem with relaying.
There wouldn't be an issue of relay in line of sight, because it wouldn't matter. A satellite here could communicate with a satellite over here, because there's no interference. If it's just a flat surface and there's no core of the Earth or anything like that, that prevents line of sight.
Now, if you were talking about line of sight like this, say this is a satellite here, okay, and the Earth is round, okay, and there's a satellite here there's somebody on this side of the Earth that you need to talk to, this bottom portion here.
Yeah, well, they say that there's nothing down there.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Even if this is right, but even if their theory is right, this wouldn't make sense. Yeah. Because it takes time to bounce a satellite signal from the Earth to another satellite, to a satellite over here, to a satellite down here that beams the signal back to here to talk to somebody on the other side of the Earth. It's called line of sight, like he was saying. Now, if that was the case, and this is a flat Earth, okay, we wouldn't have satellite signal interruption, we wouldn't have delay. It would be a simple beam, 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 or beam, beam, down to another portion of the Earth. It would be instantaneous. There would be no delay at all, because it would only have to bounce off one satellite as opposed to three.
And if they say that, that the top portion of the planet is what we are inhabiting. What about the other side? Do they have, say that this theory were true, what would the other side be? Would it be another planet?
On the other side?
Yeah, is it like another civilization down there that we know nothing about? They've got their own sun and everything?
Right. It just makes no sense.
You got a sun up here and a sun up here.
Or down there, or... we may be the upside down ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who fucking knows? We can go on forever with these things.
Or if you go to
the edge of the Earth.
Yeah, you go to the edge of the Earth, jump off.
You get sucked, though?
Or is there a doorway that brings you to the other side of this thing, like a parallel dimension or something?
And how thick is it?
Yeah.
I want to know how thick this thing is, because if it's not very thick, then we could dig to the other side in no time.
Yeah. Well, the furthest we've been is 8 miles, so presumably if there's another side, eventually you could get to the other side.
Right.
And see who's there.
And
if it weren't for the tectonic plates and the core and all that shit, we probably could dig to the other side and prove this theory true or false.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, fucking start walking.
As you get deeper
get your money together and start fucking walking.
If this was and here's another theory that punches a hole in magneticism and what they're saying. As you dig into the Earth, pressure accumulates. It gets heavier and heavier. It gets more compact. Okay, everything gets heavier, which signifies gravity. If it was a magnet, all the force on a magnet pulls at the same rate.
Yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't matter.
You know this when you go into the ocean.
That's the
deeper you go, the deeper the pressure.
The more pressure on your
more
ears,
mass
whatever, yeah.
weighing down.
Right. So, technically speaking, there's no reason why we couldn't go beyond 8 feet, or 8 miles, rather, past the 8-mile mark. The reason why we can't get past the 8-mile mark is because of gravitational pull, and weight, and compactness, and all that fun shit. You know, we can't go down beyond depths in the ocean because of how pressurized it gets down there right now. Yeah. You know? So, I mean, it's simple math,
There's too many things to contend with.
Yeah.
There's too much evidence that debunks these theories.
Right.
And like I said, it's really not that damned important to as to whether or not the world is flat or a big ball floating in space. Where, in the grand scheme of things,
does that
matter?
Yeah.
Does it fucking matter to the globalists who want to put you in concentration camps and have you marked with RFID chips and are fucking poisoning you with the vaccines and the chemtrails and all that shit? Does it really fucking matter in the grand scheme of global control and tyranny and martial law? You know, where does any of this shit matter? I mean, you're looking to the stars while your world is going to shit.
And pickpocketing you while you're worried about whether the earth is flat or round.
It's stupid, trivial nonsense. And if it's that damn important to you, fine. Get the funding together, get the financial backing, get the supplies you need, and fucking hike the South Pole and come out the other side or off the edge of the earth or whatever and send back your findings.
Right.
Okay?
And then that will prove or disprove.
Yeah, take a team down there and fucking do it.
Yeah. But until that time, you can't theorize and believe in something that's based on the fact that you can tangibly touch it if you haven't tangibly touched it yet.
Yeah.
So that.
Yeah, and they say that they have not seen the edge of the earth or any of that shit. So it's, again, just a theory. It's an idea.
Right.
It's not even a theory because at least a theory is based on something. Mm-hmm. These are just ideas. You know, contemplation and imagination. I don't see anything of value to actually support this.
Yet we've talked on it for an hour straight as a main debate.
Hey, at least we went somewhere with it. Unlike last week, where it was just kind of a dead end thing. You know, this was a new topic for us. You know, we had a lot to expound on, whereas last week we had already expounded on that topic numerous times. But again, I feel that this is a very trivial thing to concern ourselves with unless you can actually do the work to back up your ideas. Otherwise, there are more important things to worry about in this world.
Like wiping your ass.
With something other than a cactus.
Or a cheese grater.
Oh. Why does I get the feeling that Mr. Eagles is going to wipe it doing that at some point? He probably does.
Ow! No wonder he's so butthurt.
That's probably why we hear those weird noises in the middle of the night. It's him wiping his ass with a cheese grater.
Or checking off with sandpaper.
Ow!
While he's watching The View. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, I don't got any more to add.
Oh, fuck. Neither do I. So, go ahead and leave your comments below. Continue the conversation. If you like this video, click like and subscribe and all that fun shit. And until next time, I'm the Tinman.
And I'm Lucid.
And if you're watching this, you are the Resistance.
Fuck Sharia law.